Stu, this is the first time speaking, I think, since we've had the roster fully locked in. First and foremost, how pleased are you with the people you got through the door here at the Brisbane Bullets?
Very pleased. It's a strong group, high character, hardworking guys, professional. Certainly there's some talent been infused in the roster, and now it's just about building that chemistry together and getting lots of reps on the court, through practice and preseason games.
And how important was it that it was getting the right types of people as well, not just on the court, good players, but people who are able to gel together and have sort of good character and fit into this organisation?
It's probably more important than what they actually do on the court. Like just having that chemistry together, and getting to know each other. We're trying to play a brand of basketball that's very instinctual, and if you don't have connections and relationships with your teammates, it's hard to do.
And how, now that you've got them on the court and you've had a couple of weeks of pre-season, do you have a better understanding of how these groups might work together and potential combinations on the court?
It's always a work in progress, and you try to build those daily routine with each guy and teammates understanding other teammates is like things that they do well, both on and off the court, where their comfort levels are. You just hope that translates into like a good flow on a day-to-day, and you just try to continue to build on that. So when adversity comes, because it will come, that they stick together as a group and figure things out.
And did you enjoy that recruitment process? Obviously, you've been in the role for 5 months or so now, and you've worn numerous hats over your years in basketball generally. So yeah, getting your sort of feet stuck into that, was that something you enjoyed?
It's always exciting. There's stresses and anxieties, there's highs and lows, but it's a relationship business, and I'm confident in the relationships that not just myself, but everybody in the organization has, through the game of basketball, both here in Australia and globally. So you try to be authentic and make sure people understand like who the Brisbane Bullets are and what they're about and what we're trying to build here, and it's come together really nicely on that end.
Clearly, you've got some away games to start. How much do you embrace that challenge of going away from home for your first 3 games? I think 6 out of your 8 first games being away from home as well.
It's better to have it on the front end of the schedule. I've never been one to like really fixate on the schedule. Like we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. We'll play outside. Doesn't matter. So we're grateful that we get to play professional basketball for a living. But it brings the group together. Like there's time on the road that you have that, whether it's just in the airport lounge, in the hotel, at team dinners. Those are where like the authenticity of the relationship building really happens. So, if we can weather that storm early, and pick off a few, really fun road wins, then I think it just builds the level of excitement for when we come home for our home stretch.
And do you feel the need to sort of explain that silver lining to the players, or are most of them experienced enough to know that there's pros and cons of going away and you can work with that?
Yeah, they know. I mean, we identify it to them, and we don't over fixate on it, but we make sure that they understand that, like, nothing is more fun and enjoyable as a team than a road win.
Yeah.
Like just being on the road and having that time together after a win. When you're at home, everybody goes home to their families and you break off pretty quickly. But on the road, like it's hard to really describe, but it's something that's very powerful. So if you can tap into that early and utilize that, it can really help you as you go through the stretch of the season.
And our first home game against Jack Jumpers will come around sooner than ever. How much do you need to make the BEC sort of a fortress city here and capitalise on what that offers you?
It's really important, and call to all our fans and members, to come out and support the team. There's nothing players enjoy more than playing in front of a loud crowd at home. So while it's a challenge to do that on the road, it's something you certainly embrace at home. And we have great fans here in Brisbane, as over the years as I've come in for games, the energy that they provide. And I talk to our guys, like they can feel it. Yeah. They don't need me to motivate when they know they have, 7, 8, 10,000 plus pack in the house, really getting after it for them. It just brings another level of adrenaline to you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Can you put your finger on what it is that it really does for the players? Are they able to describe, when the foul's loud and they're up and about, what it does for them physically?
Yeah, it's just an emotional there. I mean, like, first they know that their families are there watching and friends are there, and maybe I hope there's not just an extra level of effort that's put forth, but it's just a different energy and a mindset when you're going to get a road win and you're playing in front of your home crowd. So, you hope the effort and the energy is the same from what the players are putting out, but the players are also aware that like we got to protect our house.
Yeah.
You know, and like when we want teams coming in, we want their mindset to be, you know, we're going into BEC, like play Brisbane, like this is a tough game.
I guess it's a case that momentum can build if you win your first couple, whether that's home or away from home, and you get those sort of under your belt. You can go from there and head towards Christmas with looking strong on the ladder.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the goal. Is like, you know, to get off to a good start. You know, build that continuity, you know, within the playing group. Get the community even more and more excited about like what we're doing. You know, we're going to play a style of basketball that should be really entertaining and fun to watch. And you know, we hope everybody comes out and supports us.
The last one, as I say, it has been 5 months since you've been appointed. You're probably pretty keen for the real season to get up and underway, aren't you?
Yeah, it's always, you know, you put a lot of time and effort into like training camp and preseason practices, and you know, you're playing against yourself constantly, which, you know, can get a little monotonous and challenging. So to get out there and, you know, have some real live competition, I think the boys are really excited about that.